Hello everyone. So today we will be solving Leetcode problem 394, that is decode string. So we are given an encoded string and we have to return its decoded string. So there are certain rules mentioned here. Let's move over to our drawing explanation and write the code and then do a dry run and understand this problem statement more. We are given an encoded string and we have to write its decoded string. So this decoded string will look something like whatever we have in the square brackets multiplied by the number that is before that. So this one would look something like 3a's, and as the whole of BC is there, which is going to be repeated twice, so our BC would be repeated twice. Now we have another example that is something like 3a to C. So now here we can see our C would be repeated twice, our A to C would be repeated thrice. So the string would look something like let's first the thing that is in our square brackets, like let's first write this part. So it would look something like A and we have got 2C. Now this thing is going to be repeated thrice. So this is once, twice, thrice. So the string would look something like this. Now let's write up the code for this and then do a dry run to see how we achieve this. So for this we would be using a stack. We would be maintaining a current string and we would be maintaining a current number. So our current number will represent our number, our string would represent our the whole string that we will be repeating, like our output. That would be our current string. So let's write it up. So we would initialize a stack. We would initialize a current string and we would have a current number which we will initialize to 0. So now we will, for every character in S, first we will check if it is a digit. If it is a digit, then we will update our current number, which should be current number into 10 plus INTC. Now we are doing this, we are doing multiplied by 10 just because suppose instead of 3 we are having 13. So to get like both of those numbers, we will do multiplied by 10 into integer of the character, because our 3 is in the string, so it is in the character format. So we will convert it into int. Or else if our character is an open bracket, so if it is an open bracket, we would append our string and our number to our stack. So first we will append our current number, then we will append our current string. Then we will initialize our current number back to 0 so that we can keep track of the other numbers forward, and we will initialize our current string back to empty string. Else if our character would be a closing bracket, our we will have a previous string. We would have a previous string which would be stack.pop, like whatever string we would have appended, we would pop it. Like whatever string we would have made that far, we would pop that out. We would understand it more when we do our dry run. And in the previous num, we would have stack.pop. Like first, as we have appended number, we will be popping our number second. So our current string, we would update it to our previous string, like whatever is in the stack till that, and our current string multiplied by our number. Else, of course it would be a character. So in our current string, we would just update our character. Now if you see in example 3, we have got just E and F to the very end. So what we will do is we will just check if there are some elements present in the stack in the end. So we would be, in our current string, we would be popping it out from our stack and we would be appending it to our current string. And in the end, we will be returning our current string. We would first initialize a stack and we would have our current string as an empty string, our current num as 0. Later in our code, we also have got previous string and we have got previous num. So let's begin. So first we will encounter 3, which is a number. So we would come to our current number and update it to 3. Then we encounter an open bracket. So we would come here and we would append our current number, that is 3, and we would append our current string, that is an empty string, and then we would be updating our current number and our current string to an empty string. So as we already have an empty string, I'm not doing anything. So let's move on. So we have got A. Now we would come to the else part, as we have encountered an A, and we would update our current string to A. Now we encounter a closed bracket. As we have encountered a closed bracket, we would update our previous string and previous number. So our previous string would be an empty string and we would be popping that out from the stack, and then we would pop out 3. So we have popped this out. Now we would update our current string. So our current string would look something like previous string, which is an empty string, plus our current string, that is we have got our current string into previous number, so 3 A's. So now our current string would be 3 A's. So let's update that. So our current string has become something like this. Now we will move on in our iteration and we will get a 2. So we will be getting a 2. So we will update our current number to 2. Then we would move and we would encounter a open bracket. So as we would encounter a open bracket, we would append our current number, which is 2, and then we would append our current string, which is A. And then what we will do, we will reinitialize our current string to an empty string and we would have our current number as 0. So we have done that. Now we will move. We are now getting a B. So as we are getting a B, we would append it to our current string here. We would add that character B. Now we will get a C. So we would go to the else part and we would add that character C. Now what will happen is we are encountering a closed bracket. So as we are encountering a closed bracket, we would update our previous string to our, and we would pop this out AAA and update our previous string. So our previous string would look something like this and our previous num would now be updated to 2. Now we would write our current string. We would update our current string. So that would be our previous string plus our current string into previous number. So our current string is BC into previous number, that is 2. So twice of BC. So now what we will do is our current string has been updated and it has become AAA and 2 like 2 BCs. So it has now become AAA and BC. So after that we have reached the end of our iterations. Our for loop has ended. We won't be entering our while loop as we have popped this out as we encountered a closed bracket and we have updated our previous string and previous num. We have popped these out from the stack, so our stack is empty, so we won't be entering this while loop. So we would be returning our current string, which is AAA BC. Now you can do your own dry runs with the other example that is given, and yeah, so that would be it. and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.